Today I'm diving deep into the Demon Hunter class inside of Diablo Immortal, telling you everything about the build that is working right now, both for PvP and for PvE. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the equipment, the skills, the gems, and even the Paragon that are being used inside of this build so that you can crush your enemies inside of Diablo Immortal. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo. Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank Game Zone for the build that I'm about to break down for you guys today. As you know, I rock a barbarian inside of Diablo Immortal, so I was looking for the best Demon Hunter build right now. So Game Zone came to me. He's a level 30 Paragon. He's in 7th place on the challenge rifts, utilizing this build. It's a build for PvP and for PvE, which I'm going to be breaking down for you, along with his explanations as to why he uses the gems and the skills that he's using, as well as the modifiers from the gear that he's wearing. So starting with the primary attack, Game Zone is using Explosive Arrow. It's going to shoot an arrow that explodes on impact for 3,700 damage to a target and 925 to all nearby enemies, with an ultimate that enhances Explosive Arrow for 12 seconds, replacing arrows with explosive grenades, increasing its damage per hit to 4,100. Explosive Arrow seems to be his choice. He likes that heavier damage. There you go. Let's get into the first skill. The first skill that he's using here is Multi-Shot. And this is a must use because it's going to set your enemies on fire for 4 seconds, and it's going to enhance the ability of 2 of the gems that we're going to look that he's using a little bit later in this video. The ones I'm talking about are Seeping Bile and Everlasting Torment. This skill is going to help out those gems with the actions that he's trying to provide. Essentially what's going to happen is he's going to get the fire, he's going to get the poison, and he's going to get the bleed effects when he's in PvP against his opponents, utilizing Multi-Shot with the gems that he has chosen. And notice Flaming Arrow has some enhancements from both his main hand weapon and from his headpiece, increasing the damage by 10%. So utilizing the legendary weapon Flame Spite, the Flaming Arrow is going to cause some changes. Multi-Shot now fires flaming arrows that damage and burn enemies. It's going to upgrade your vitality and your strength. The second skill being used is Spinning Chakram. The benefit here is it's going to give you the ability for mobility around the map while still dealing damage at the same time. This is great for kiting and pulling enemies together, kiting them and gathering them all together to do that group mass splash damage, which you're going to see in some of the gameplay either now or later in the video. This is also great for PvP because when you're getting some of those close range players like myself and my barbarian, you could back yourself up, throw out the Spinning Chakram, and just kite yourself away, or actually kite the enemies, move yourself away, and they're most likely going to have to retreat because they're not going to be able to get close enough to you in time. Also, the Spinning Chakram has a really short cooldown, so it's really good for these kiting builds. It's essential that you have something that can do the damage. And you can see from the offhand weapon, the Spinning Chakram now fires a stationary chakram that inflicts 13,000 plus damage over 4 seconds to all nearby enemies. And from the shoulder piece, Spinning Chakram maximum charges increased by 1, so you're getting an extra chakram. And from the legs, the enemies that are hit by the chakram will suffer 4% additional damage if hit again by a Spinning Chakram within a short time, stacking up to 5 times. That's like 20% extra damage, which is a lot. Now, the primary weapon that you're going to want to use to do this is the Blade Thrower. Its legendary ability is Razor. Spinning Chakram now fires a secondary chakram that continuously damages all nearby enemies, but no longer has multiple charges. Now, the pants you're going to want to wear that are, of course, legendary are the Slayer's Breeches. Enemies hit by the Spinning Chakram will suffer 4% additional damage, and again, this can be stacked up to 5 times. And the final piece of equipment that you're going to want to use for this chakram effect is the Shadowstalker Spaulders. This is going to give you the legendary ability to get that extra charge, that 1 extra chakram. The third skill we're using here is Vengeance, which is going to transform into physical embodiment of vengeance for 6 seconds, causing every primary attack to launch 2 additional shots for 824 damage each, which is also giving you a 3% movement speed increase. And from the chest piece, we're going to be getting a 15% Vengeance cooldown decrease by 10%. So really going to be able to utilize this more often. And of course, the charm is giving a plus 2% damage. And the chest piece we need for this is Heart of Vengeance. Vengeance cooldown decreased by 15%. Vengeance cooldown decreased by 10%. The legendary gems that you're going to want to be using here also are Seeping Bile and Everlasting Torment. Again, really good for those kiting builds. Now, the fourth skill is Daring Swing. This is one of the best evasion skills inside of the game of all classes, in my opinion. You're going to be doing a lot of kiting. You're using a Demon Hunter. That's not the tankiest of characters in the game, or actually one of the least tanky inside of the game. So you need to be able to get out of there quickly. Daring Swing is going to do that. It'll quickly get you out of the way, continuously get you moving along while shooting as well. Use a rope and swing to a nearby location, dealing 4,000 plus damage to enemies on your way while they cannot attack you. Maximum 2 charges, so you're essentially safe. You're not vulnerable at all while you're using the skill, which is perfect. Now, the gear on the waist is going to be the short stack of Shalbas. Now, this is going to be giving you the extra attack damage increase by 15%. And if you notice, he's utilizing the gems that give you more damage, which is the same ones that I like to use. And the headpiece that's legendary that he has equipped right here is the Cowl of Absolute Punishment. His chest piece is the Heart of Vengeance. The shoulder piece is the Shadow Stalker's Spaulders. Legs are the Slayer's Breeches. The heavy weapon is the Flame Spite, and the light weapon is the Blade Thrower. As you can see, he's going with the Vanquisher Paragon tree, as am I. He's going with, on the bottom tier, all of that power, that strength, that extra attack damage. And on the top, he's going with the health. So he's doing a bit of a hybrid, splitting both the top and the bottom portion of the Paragon tree. Even going as far to share with us his legacy of the Haradrim gems, how they're all set up, and the levels that he has right now. Looks like he's got some really nice progression right here, which is also, again, going to give you those bonus attributes. Now, essentially, as a Demon Hunter, you are going to play range. You need to keep yourself out of harm's way, but the build that we have right here is really to bring all of these enemies together rather than trying to pick away one at a time. Once you are able to kite or bring all of these enemies to the same place, you could start utilizing the skills that we discussed a little bit earlier and the primary attack to do massive amounts of damage, as you're seeing happen right here. This entire horde of kited enemies are taken down from utilizing the skills that GameZone is able to combine to drop massive amounts of damage. Plus, when in danger, he can just zip himself out of there, utilizing the Daring Swing just to make sure that he's invincible while he's doing it and doesn't let any of these enemies get too close. Now, just check that out. As they're sitting there completely getting crushed by some of these skills, trying to get through them, but not able to, especially because of the stacking damage that happens over time as these skills are deployed. Now, you may have heard me say in some of my recent videos, and this is something that I never expected to say, but I've been seeing some really strong Demon Hunter builds. We've been seeing Demon Hunters do well in PvP, as well as some of the dungeons and some of the rifts as we're watching right now as well, and it really makes me want to play as a Demon Hunter. But we've stuck ourselves into the Barbarian build right now, which I'm also in love with, but really, the Demon Hunter looks super nice, and it was never a class that I thought that I would have an interest to play, but when I have a build put together that looks this strong, it really is something that's interesting. Now, you'll notice as the gameplay happens, GameZone does take damage, needs to use those heals, because if he lets the enemies get too close to him, he's gonna go really red and take some solid damage. So you really need to use your evasion tactics and your kiting tactics, and you need to use your Daring Swing to get out of there on a regular basis. When you start taking hits, if you don't get out of there, you're gonna be in a lot of harm. You're gonna be dealing with a lot of damage, and you're most likely gonna go down. When you're playing one of the tankier classes, you're able to kind of just sit there, take that damage, heal up as you go, and you just can take a lot more. Not with a class like this. Your goal here is to avoid getting hit, get out of the way once you start getting hit, and really keep yourself safe. If you aren't good with movement, with continuously trying to evade your opponents, then the Demon Hunter / a Wizard class are probably not the best for you. But if you like moving and continuously being on in your battles and having to really just have a fun time picking away at your opponent, as we're seeing happen right here with this raid boss, then a class like this could really be a lot of fun. But notice right now how GameZone is really trying hard to avoid and wasn't able to the entire time. If that were my Barbarian, I could have taken multiple of those hits and I would have survived. But when you're with a class like this, you are much more squishy. So you're really relying on your ability to evade and stay away from all of the attacks of your opponent. You make a mistake, you can really be in harm's way and you could easily go down, as we saw happen right there. Look at this, all trying to evade all of these shots, taking big damage when he does get hit. It takes patience, it takes skill, and it really takes, well, a nice build like we shared here with you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Love sharing new builds with you, and my plan is to reach out to everyone in the Scrappy Echoes family and put together builds for all of the character classes regularly, quarterly, as we move on into the future of Diablo Immortal. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell, because I have many more coming out for you guys on a regular basis, in addition to the live streams and the Immortal podcast every single weekend. Let me know what your Demon Hunter build looks like in the comments section below. You never know, and we'll try some of those out and get them featured here in the channel. Have a great day, guys, and be good.